I really want to create good habits. So that is my goal for starting Read Aloud time with the kids this year, just to create the habit of coming together. Hey guys, Jen here with Chaos and Grace in a different setting today. I'm actually at my parents' house today. We are under a boil order and I need to bathe the kids, and it's day 2 of the boil order. They really need a bath. So while we're getting that taken care of, I'm gonna do a video for you guys. It also might be a little bit louder in here because there's the kitchen, here's the living room, bedrooms are right there. It's a small little house and there's no quiet place to go. So it might be a little loud in the background for you guys, but I think we'll be fine. This video is going to be our reading list for everybody, for our family read alouds. Family read aloud time is something that I've always wanted to implement and I've always tried and I've always failed at. I'm not good at this. And I think it's because my expectations are like up here and what works for our family is slightly lower. So my approach this year is going to be a little different, well actually very different, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. I will be including my 9th grader in on this. He will sit and do some of his independent work or activities or crochet or whatever he wants to work on, but we are all gonna go through this together. And one of the reasons, aside from the fact that there are just so many benefits to read aloud time, is because we are going to be working in Narnia. This book is something I got off of Amazon a couple years ago, and I talked to my pastor about Narnia. There's a lot of controversy with anything that has a magical side of it, and I really wanted to talk to him about this and get his opinion, and we talked about all of the biblical parallels in the Narnia series. And after doing my own research, which if this is something you're on the fence with, I strongly suggest you do your own research and make the decision that's right for your family. But for our family, we decided that this is definitely something that we wanted to read and study all together. So after each book, we'll go through this. Actually, it gives you prompts after in each book. So there's the first book. It takes you through each chapter, gives you scripture, gives you talking points. This is a great book. I really like this book study that goes along with it. So we'll be doing this every single book. So there's 7 of the Narnia books, right? Am I right? If I'm wrong, tell me, but I'm pretty sure there's 7 books. And we'll see how long that takes us. If we get through all of those, then I'm going to read Treasure Island. We got through about half of this. This is one of the books that I started to read and failed miserably with. But they really enjoyed this while we were reading it, so we're gonna continue with that one. Well, I'll start over, because it's Treasure Island, it's a good book. Huckleberry Finn. Okay, this is a fun book that just fun little stories. It's called 10 Boys Who Changed the World. I came across this in Goodwill, and I picked it up. And we've read a couple of these. Well, I've read a couple of these with my oldest son when he was, I wanna say about 11 years old. And they're good stories, and there's good lessons and messages in them. So I'm gonna read this aloud to everybody. And I figured this is gonna be a good book on our days that attention is not there and we're just a little too hyper, or we're just, overall not having a great day. And they're what, let's see. Some of them are like 2-3 pages. Some of them are 20 pages. So we can pick a small one and just get a short little read aloud time done. On those days, I'll be happy to just get 1 page or even a paragraph done. A couple videos ago, I talked about how I changed our science and history, and it's a lot of child-led learning. I'll pop an iCard up there if you guys are interested in that video. But along with that, I found in our homeschool stuff that I was about to give away, a whole bunch of Flat Stanley books. I'm now keeping them because these will be great to go along with our geography and just fun to track. And I'm pretty sure there used to be a Flat Stanley pen pal group where you could print out your Flat Stanley and mail it off to somebody, and it goes around and you get other people's, and yeah, you do that whole thing. So if I can find that, I would love to do that with this. That would be really fun to track on our map and to get all those postcards. That'd be cool. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. I also have about, like, I don't know, a million of these books, these Magic Treehouse books. Wyatt devoured these books. These are great books, and they're super easy reads. In case you don't know about these books, there's pictures every few pages. They're great stories, and they're all history based. There's some book studies that go along with them. I don't know if they're really book studies, but they're a companion book that goes along with this story. You follow these two characters, Jack and Annie, through all the Magic Tree House stories, and there's individual stories and the adventures that they have going through their Magic Tree House, and then there's a continual storyline that tracks them through every single book. So it keeps them interested in hearing what's going to happen next and what adventure they're going to go on, and you get great history lessons in there too. And there's one for, I don't even know, like every kind of subject you can imagine for history. So I'm sure I can find, for a lot of the things we're going to cover in history, a lot of Magic Tree House books that we could read with that too. So I have two kids learning multiplication this year, and this is a book that I read with my oldest son, and this is an awesome book. You should definitely get this if you have a child that is going through multiplication or will be going through multiplication. You can get it on Amazon. This is a great book. I love this. It just gives you nice little rhymes and a fun little story to help keep multiplication tables sticking. And I'm going to include that in our read aloud time as well. Okay, so now that I actually sit down and talk about it and go through it, that is a lot of books. I don't know if we're going to get through them all. So here's how I'm going to implement read aloud time. I am not looking to sit down and make them sit down and be totally silent all in one room and have peace and quiet and tranquility while they listen obediently to me read. That ain't my house. That's not my kids. That's not the way it's going to work for us. So what I'm trying to do is create good habits. I want to create this good habit of them sitting together, coming together, and learning to listen. I want to create the habit in me of having some time to just sit and do something quiet without my brain going in a million different directions and all the things we shoulda, woulda, coulda have done. There are so many benefits to having everybody come together and listen to a story. I really, really want to implement this. And I could go on and on about all of the great perks to family read aloud time, but for the purposes of keeping this video short, I'm just gonna say it's awesome. Look up the benefits if it's something you wanna implement and you are not yet doing in your own home. But I'm rabbit trailing. So back to how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fit it in and sneak it in little pockets of time. So that is gonna be mealtime, when we are sitting down. Breakfast, lunch, dinner time is a little more chaotic in our house, so dinner time would not be a good time to do that, but definitely breakfast, definitely lunch are times that I could do that. Waiting rooms, we spend a fair amount of time in waiting rooms if we get held up at therapy or doctor's appointments or something like that. We also do a lot of independent work like handwriting and math. Most of the time is independent, sometimes they need help. But during that time, we do that outside. So during that time, I could do read aloud time there too. Just when we're playing outside during the day, when we take outside breaks, I could have them play in the sandbox and have my oldest sit with something to do at the picnic table with us, and I could get some read aloud time in then. Like I said, I'm not looking to have this long, lengthy time where I read for hours and hours and hours. I don't think I could actually read for hours and hours and hours on end, even to myself. But I really want to create good habits. So that is my goal for starting read aloud time with the kids this year. Just to create the habit of coming together and trying to bring a little bit more calm and a little bit more focus and a little bit more respect and paying attention to each other and to me, as well as all the other good habits that read aloud time can bring us. So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed yet, I want to invite you to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you can stay up to date on all the videos I put out. And I'll see you in the next video.